This is Joshua Farnsworth. Welcome to my traditional woodworking school. In this video, Will Myers will show how to make a through mortise and tenon joint while he builds the Portable Moravian Workbench.
Okay, we've got the bridle joint cut. It's ready to move down to the second joint, which is a basic, just a through mortise and tenon for this center stretcher. This stretcher's 3 inches wide. Let's look at this end. 3 inches wide, 1.5 inches thick, and 24 inches long, same as the top stretcher. And it has a single shouldered tenon. If you can see that once it's mounted in the leg, the face is flush with the leg. Okay, this is the way the original is made, and it's much quicker to make. You can also mount it in the center and do a two-shouldered tenon like we did on the bridle joint, the first tenon. But I kind of like it mounted like this, like the original, so that's what we're going to cut here. And to start out, just like on the top tenon, we're going to start with our layout line we made very first when all three of the pieces were together, the shoulder line, and we're going to bring this across the face. And we're going to put our knife in that little cut, slide our square up to it, and just come across. And you don't have to lay this out all the way around, just the top and the face and the bottom here. And it's a good idea not to lay it all the way around, because one little tidbit on this joint can be confusing. So we've got our face to this side. You see our face mark, and here's our scribe line. Okay, we need to lay out where we need to saw the tenon cheek next. And it's kind of a unique layout. We want to set this mortise and this tenon are 3/4 of an inch wide, and we've switched to our 3/4 inch firmer chisel. And these old chisels tend to be, some of them, this one may be exactly 3/4, or it may be a shade more or less, I don't know, and it doesn't matter. But what we do want to do is set our mortise gauge teeth to exactly the width of our chisel, where those two little tips are just right at the edges of that chisel. And that was just a shade narrow, so we'll move it out just a little and check it again, and we're pretty good there. Okay, we want our fence to the face side. And what we're going to do, this is one shoulder, and we're going to use this same gauge setting to lay out the mortise. And this is what confuses people. But we want to set this back pin to the back side of the stretcher. And this center, or the other pin, is going to be running right through the middle, pretty much. Okay, we're going to tighten up our gauge. Hopefully we didn't move it. We need to check it. Okay, we got our back pin right there at the back. Now we're going to gauge around just like before. But if you notice, we're using of course a mortising gauge, and we're only making one line. That's okay, that's what you want. The confusing thing is you need to be sure and mark your waist. This is our waist, And if you will notice, of course, the waist and the tenon are almost identical in size, so it's easy to get confused on that point. So be sure and mark it just as quick as you make the lines. I would mark it. And come down the other side and mark that. Okay, this gauge setting, like I said, will make sense here in just a minute when we do the mortise, because we won't change anything on the gauge this time. It's going to stay the same. So now we're ready to saw. I'll darken these so you can see them. And just exactly like what we've done before, we're going to work on a diagonal and saw just off on the waist side of our line.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying watching our video so far, and I just want to take a few seconds to let you know about our traditional woodworking store, which you can visit while taking a class or by visiting our website at woodandshop.com/store. You'll find our amazing products to help you grow in traditional hand tool woodworking, including in-person and video woodworking classes, woodworking hand tools and workbenches, woodworking plans, traditional wood finishes, shirts and hats, and cool hand tool woodworking gifts for you or your loved ones. Okay, back to the show.
Okay, we have our tenon cut. It's cleaned up. We're ready to cut the mortise that it goes in. And so on our leg, our initial layout marks, this short center stretcher goes right here in this slot that we laid out. These lines we need to bring around like we did earlier, and you only have to bring them down the sides. There's no use to go all the way around the leg. So we're just going to quickly mark that. And that's all there is to that. Okay, our mortise gauge that we used earlier to lay out this tenon, I'll hold it where you can see it, that where we had one pin on the back really not doing anything is going to make sense now. That back pin now is going to lay out the back of this mortise. So now we have a perfectly positioned mortise from the face of our leg. This side, same thing again. Sure and gauge off the face. And that's your waist. We've got to clean that out and be ready to go. Okay, we're ready to clean this mortise out. There's several ways you could do it. You could just use your chisel and chisel the whole thing out, which a leg this thick, it's a lot of work, but you could do it if you wanted to. The best way is to bore out the waist with a brace and an auger. And there's several different kind of augers. Here's an Irwin bit, a little coarser looking, a little faster coarser lead screw on it. And this is a Jennings bit, or Jennings pattern with a little bit finer lead screw. Either one will work. Basically what we want to do is remove waste, so whatever, just use what you've got. But in this case we've got a 3/4 mortise, so we're going to use a 5/8 bit, which is slightly narrower, more narrow than the mortise, and we'll clean it up with a chisel. But just you want to bore pretty much down the center, or center your bit best you can in the mortise. You've got a little leeway either side, and then go about halfway through the leg. You don't want to bore all the way out the other side because you may miss the mortise. And if you have any variances, if the bit gets going one way or the other, you'd rather have that inside the leg where you can't see it. So we're going to go about halfway. And just bore a series of holes. Okay, we're halfway through the leg from the first side. This is the side we're starting on. I haven't bored the holes yet from the other. The way I generally work is I'll go ahead and clean up and square this side, then flip it over and finish boring the other side and then square it. It saves you turning your work in the vise. It's a little faster. But if you want to, bore both ways and then start squaring, that's totally up to you. It doesn't matter. But just take your chisel and you want to go right down the middle of those gauge lines. You don't really need the mallet paring the walls of the mortise. Just hand pressure. And I usually clean the walls up a little and then get the ends. It is possible. Try to get some of this waste out of the way, so lessen the chance of getting the chisel stuck. And it sounds kind of funny, but it's not funny when it happens. With this waste out of the way, here on the sides, it gives less apt to get this chisel caught when we cut the ends out. So now we've got the walls fairly close. Tighten this up. And just like before, first cut I start off of start on this end. You probably see it a little better. Start off of that baseline. Like we were saying earlier, the chisel tends to move backwards. Watch your chisel, make sure not to get it in a bind in there. Get it stuck. I've got just one. There we go. You can also use your chisel. You can see the chisel just fits. That's a good gauge if your walls are straight, parallel. Because we initially laid this out using the chisel to set our width of our pins. So then what I do at this point, just check your tenon and make sure it starts in there. And so we're good. So now we're ready to flip the leg over, bore the waist out, and square it up from the other side, and then we're ready to go together. Okay, we've got it clean, the mortise cleaned out, and see how it fits here. Let's see, wrong one. Pretty good. Check, use your square and check, make sure you're square. Looks good. Last thing, just like on the upper one, we want to number it so we don't lose track of which joint, which legs that this goes to. So. And that's that.
If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking, come take a class at our school in Earlysville, Virginia. You can also visit our website at woodandshop.com, where you'll find a bunch of free woodworking lessons, workshop tours, and our very popular tool buying guides. And make sure you subscribe to our free newsletter to get our latest articles and videos. Enjoy!